myself from nursing on the 27th of this month. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, y'all. Okay? I'm going to be free. And what I want you to know is that you can be free too. Because my husband and I, we started working this business 9 short months ago. And at that time, we were tossing and turning at night. I don't know if anyone out here is doing that right now because of finances in your household. But we were tossing and turning at night because we didn't know how we were going to pay the bills at the end of the month. We have more bills than money. Don't know if anyone out here is like that. We have more bills than money. I'll never forget the day when the sheriff was in my driveway handing us foreclosure papers. And our daughter was going to the school bus. And the sheriff is in our driveway. Can you imagine that? And so she's saying, Mommy, are we going to be okay? I told her that we were going to be okay, but I didn't know. So for my husband and I, we had a very short window of time to turn things around. We had a date, and it was a foreclosure date. So I don't know if anybody out here in this audience has a date or have a small window of time to turn things around in their life, because you can do it for total life changes. And in 9 short months, okay, we are now 6-figure earners a month. So as we start to talk about some of the challenges that we're facing, because we're all pioneers. You're all saying, I'm a pioneer. I'm a pioneer. Because we're all pioneers in this business. I just want you to just think about that, because I prayed and I asked God for $10,000 a month, an extra $10,000 a month. And I'm happy to say my husband and I are making over $100,000 a month. Amen. So have it in the brain, because we're the
I'm Taya Wiley. I am a director. I started actually with the company back in May, but I just did what a lot of people do. I signed up and then I did nothing else. I was in Baltimore, Maryland, filming a directory, and a girl that was sharing a room with me, she was like, you need to buy this tea. At the time I was with another company. She was like, no, she was also with that other company. She's like, this tea, this is where it's at. You gotta do it. It'll have you lose 5 pounds in 5 days. And I've always struggled with weight and weight loss. I used to be about 300 pounds. So anytime anybody tells me all I have to do is drink some tea and I'm gonna lose weight, of course I'm gonna do that. So I bought the $100 kit of tea, and that was it. I was drinking the tea, but I was focused on my other business, so I wasn't working the business. About 3 months in, I had turned off my auto ship completely. That was back in May of 2014. So December 30th, 2014 comes along, and one of my sisters from the other company, she started posting about this tea. So I call her and I'm like, Kim, you're selling the tea now? And she's like, yeah, girl, this company is awesome. I was like, oh, okay, well, I signed up 7 months ago, but I never did anything with it. And she's like, what? You didn't tell me about this? You knew about it 7 months ago? And I'm like, well, what? What's wrong? And she's like, did you look at the compensation plan? And I'm like, no, I never looked at the compensation plan. What am I missing? She's like, girl, we get paid 50% commission on all our sales. I'm like, 50%? Because the company we were with, we were getting 10%. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. She was like, and we get a 50% check match on anybody we sign up. I'm like, what? I had over 300 girls in my other company. So my mind started doing the math if I was getting a 50% check match on everybody from that company. And she's continued with all these great things with our fast start bonuses, and she's telling me about all this money. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I should do something with this company. So I called Lanika Scott, who is the person one of the people that brought Total Life Changes to the U.S. So when I called her and I told her, I signed up 7 months ago, I'm ready to get going. And she's like, okay, well, let's look in your back office to see what you have there already. And I'm like, I've never signed up anybody, I've never sold a pack of tea, there's nothing in my back office. I don't even know how to log in my back office. And so she walks me through this process. We go in my back office and she asked me, what does it say under LV and what does it say under RV? And I'm like, well, under LV it says 15,650 something. And under RV it said nothing. And she's like, oh, you're doing really well. I was gonna move you, but I'm gonna leave you where you're at. And then so she told me to call Denise. So an hour had passed and I'm on the phone with Denise, and she tells me again to log into my back office. She asked me the same question. I'm like, something's wrong with this back office. Now it says I have 16,150 in an hour. I had done nothing but make another phone call. And Denise just laughs and she's like, oh, sweetie, that's because most of my organization is under your leg. And I'm like, what? You know, because with the last company, nobody was being placed under you. It was a linear compensation plan. Anybody that was on your team, you had to have put them there. It was a lot of hard work. You had to make sure everybody's auto ship was on. You had to make sure they had customers. You had to do all this extra work. And here I am looking at, in a month, $100,000 in volume that I wasn't getting paid a dime on just because I didn't know. But I'm glad I at least had positioned myself. I didn't know what I was doing when I bought that seed. But as soon as I knew January 1st, I hit the ground running. I called Chelsea, who was with me in my other company. She jumped right on board. And within just 1 week from the day I had talked to Denise to the day that I had talked to Chelsea, by the end of that week, I already had a check for $645 just in 1 week. And anybody that works in the other company, you know how long it takes to make $645. So just in 1 week, I'm telling you, the opportunity here is phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it. I'm super excited to be a part of a company and getting in at the ground floor level, which means, you know, 5 years from now, who knows? If in only 7 months, I had over 561 distributors that I had not signed up and not met, I couldn't imagine what that's going to look like 5 years from now. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this company.
Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina Dixon. I am a director with Total Life Changes. So excited. I'm just so glad that you guys are all here. I'm just honored to even have Denise to be here to share with us on today. My story is kind of different because I never tried the product or anything. Lanika Scott posted a post on Facebook. She is my upline, talking about Total Life Changes several months prior to September. And I said, what is Lanika doing? So I said, let me log in. I looked at it and I said, oh no, drop 5 pounds in 5 days. Oh, Never looked at it again. September 9th, I had my time with the Lord. How many of you had time with the Lord every morning? Just a little quiet time. So I had my quiet time with the Lord, and I told my husband, he was getting ready for work. I said, you know what? I said, the Lord told me health and restoration. And he said, well, what does that mean? I said, I don't know. He said, well, I receive. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to just keep talking to the Lord and see what does he want me to know about health and restoration. So he went off to work. I went, took my children to school, came back. I had some business to do on my computer. And I said, let me log on to Facebook, see what's going on. I logged on, and the very first post in the news feed was Kimberly Edwards. She is now a regional director with Total Life Changes, and she's a lady that I really respect. We've talked several years. Never met her personally, but I have high respect for her. And she said, I just partnered with Total Life Changes. Something in my spirit just said, you need to go back and look at what Lanika sent you. So I went back to the link that she gave me, and I researched all of it, everything that she sent me. I inboxed her. I said, what do I have to do to get signed up? She said, oh, just click on that link, and these are the enrollment packages. You get signed up. Immediately, I enrolled. Never tried the product. Never did anything. I don't even know Lanika personally. I've only met her through Facebook. But in my spirit, I felt confirmation. How many of you have ever had confirmation in your fears? You feel like, just 8 years ago, my mother died of a massive heart attack at 64 years old. Say too young. Too young. Then, 2 years ago, my father-in-law died all of a sudden. 67 years old. Say too young. Then, not even a year later, on the same day that my mother died, my mother-in-law just died last year on March 10th. All of a sudden. Somebody say health. Health and restoration. So did you see how in my spirit I felt like this is it? We're going to finally break this generational curse. Amen. That's how I felt. That's what I received in my spirit with Total Life Changes. It's going to break my family, set us free from lack. He's going to restore us in our area of our finances. When I saw that compensation plan, 50% to enroll someone, fast start, 50%, you get a binary check, I'm going to get 50%. Talking about restoration. Amen. When I look at my checks each week, and my team is just, it's growing at a nice little pace. The Lord is taking me at my time. in my time. I am a director and I have an awesome team. I'm so proud of my team. I know we could do better, but I know God does things in his own time. But when I look at my checks and every week I'm getting $500 checks, $250 checks, who could use an extra $1,000 a month? Amen. I'm talking about restoration in your finances. Not only that, restoration in my health. I had high blood pressure when I had those 2 little kids. My body went in such a shock. My oldest is 27. I have a 26-year-old. I have a 22-year-old, and then talking about an 11-year-old. My body went into shock. It was all messed up. Talking about high blood pressure, cholesterol out of whack, all this stuff going on, IBS. Honey, since I've taken these products, I no longer have IBS. I'm no longer on my blood pressure medicine. I'm talking about restoration in my health and in my finances. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law are over there. My sister-in-law has gone from an 18 to a 14. My brother-in-law has lost over 20-some pounds. My husband has lost 26 pounds. I'm talking about restoration in my health, in my family's health. No generational curses. The lack is over. That's what I plan with this company. So it's just been such a blessing. I hope you all see what you really, really have in Total Life Changes. Total Life Changes. I don't believe that was an accident that they named the company Total Life Changes, because the company is changing lives. Not tomorrow, today. Instant results you will receive with these products. And that's why I'm so excited about this. I am so on fire with this product, with this company, from the Ghana to the Chaga to the NutriBrush to the Tatuli. Everything. You want to know about a product, I can tell you about it, because I'm a product of the product, because I study more than just the tea. This company is not about the tea.
That's right.
It's not about the tea. Get past that and really, really look at what this company has
I've been
to offer.
involved for about 3 months or so, and I was previously involved with that body wrap company. I got involved with them about 3 years ago, and I really never saw myself getting involved in network marketing, but I was a product of their product. It took off really fast. I grew a big team, but over time with that company, I really didn't feel like it was a stable company for me to be in. And after several years, I realized I really was on the right road with network marketing, but I was not in the right vehicle. So about 4 months ago, I really started to pray that God would bring a new business in my life. And what happened was in December, my grandfather passed away. And so when all that was happening, I had started a new job and was making great money at that job, but I was only allowed to take 1 day off of work for me to go to his funeral. And it didn't matter to me how much money I was making, because they owned my time. And so I really started to pray that God would bring me something that would not only be a great way to make some extra money, but something that would give me that time freedom. Also, in my family, a lot of my family is a little bit overweight, and so I've really been into health and wellness, and I am very active on Instagram, and I had seen these different tea products, and I really wanted to try one. And so as I'm praying, God bring me something, I started to pray a little bit more, with a little bit more intensity. I need, give me a sign of what you want me to do here. Give me a company, put it in my lap. And I had a really bad experience with my previous company, and made a post on Facebook about it. And within an hour, Taya called me and started to tell me about this business. And she said, 5 pounds in 5 days and 50% commission. And I just said, all right, sign me up. And I had a lot of other people reach out to me for other businesses, a lot. And I said, no, this isn't the right one. This isn't the right one. But I knew that if Taya was telling me that this was a good company to be a part of, that it was. So after she called me, I did about 10 hours of research. I'm more of a nerd than a free spirit. So I did all this research. I looked at the compensation plan. I called Denise the next day. I talked to her. She talked to me for an hour. I could not comprehend that a leader in a company was taking an hour out of her day to speak to me. That doesn't happen in other companies. It just doesn't. So I knew that this was the team for me. I joined And my first month in the business, I made more than my first 3 months in my old one.
Wow.
And I moved fast for that. So